Hey everybody, you're watching another episode of Winston Walks. We're gonna do a little cool one here. I'm gonna walk. So I'm not sure if you folks know that aren't from Toronto, but we have like an underground kind of a network here in the financial district. Um, so right now, I'm actually King and Bay, and I don't know if it means anything to you guys, but basically there's a network where you can walk underground amongst all the big financial institutions, like their corporate offices, etc. And then it goes to Union Station as well, and it actually walks up, walk towards Eaton Center, and we're gonna do that. And we're gonna kind of discover this. It's called the Path. Um, and there's a lot of shops here, as you can see. You know what? In Montreal, I'm not from Montreal, but I did visit there once. But there is a sort of an underground network there as well. I think theirs is bigger. Ours here is mainly the financial district to Eaton Center and to Union. But it's really handy when it gets cold. Um, yeah, there's a Timmy's here. This area was really dead during obviously COVID for obvious reasons. Um, I believe down here we're at the TD building. And then also, I'm going to continue with the theme of, I'm going to talk about some financial topics. Seemed to work last time. You folks seem to listen to that. Hopefully, that helped you out a bit. Last time I was talking about sources of inflation, especially when a big thing in Canada is obviously housing. Um, Prices of housing, and in terms of kind of my advice again, always do your own work, right? Mine is more just general advice that people just take into and use it to your own mosaic, right? It's not anything. Don't buy or anything on, but anyways, what I'd say is, so let's see, here's King Street. You know what? Let's go this way. Going towards King, I'm gonna go up here. But yes, with mortgages obviously getting bigger, house prices getting bigger, interest rates are coming back down in Canada. Well, variables are, governments are, but granted, fixed rates are not. They're actually moving around, and I'll actually come into what part of what our topic's going to be today, because it's kind of be an extension of that. So here's the sign here. You have like Royal Bank, TD, etc. So you know what? Actually, you know what? Let's make a U, a UE. I'm gonna go this way. But so with, like I mentioned, fixed rates are not going down, and the reason why is because it is basically future inflation expectations, which also incorporate into future interest rate expectations. So, they're going to be essentially the market's saying that we're expecting inflation rates to go up. Um, and in terms of the central banks, they're going to have to increase rates to deal with that, right? Now, since that last talk, we've had a new phenomenon happen, and this channel is not political, but it's the election of Donald Trump. So we're actually heading into another building here, just in case you're wondering. That's why the design is different. So we're heading to what's called First Canadian Place, which not sure if they're still headquartered, because they actually moved some of their offices to Eaton Center, but it used to be the head office of Bank of Montreal. It's a nice building. See, very clean. So, in terms of with with Donald Trump being elected, so there's the perceptions are is that he's going to. Oh. Okay. Okay. No problem. Sorry. All right, folks. We're gonna. Is it okay? I'm gonna just leave the building. Is that okay? I'm gonna leave the building. Okay. Thanks. Okay. Well, First Canadian Place doesn't allow recording. You know, for some reason. Get out of here. I don't know. I guess their building is special, but it's all right. REITs aren't doing very well anyways, and BMO is leaving this building, so you know it is what it is. But anyways, as I was speaking, Donald Trump's election. So the thought pattern is that he's pro-growth. He's going to cut taxes. He's going to use tariffs to essentially, I guess, realign trade deals. Tariffs are considered inflationary. They're going to obviously, well, the thought pattern is that it's going to hurt international markets or international companies because, you know, they won't be as favorable. It's a strong dollar, which hurts commodities. Plus, there's things like gold have gone down, right? And think about it, so commodities, oil, because they're priced in U.S. dollars, right? So, you know, if prior to the Trump election, $100, $100, let's say to buy a unit, now it takes less U.S. units to buy them, right? So, anyways, that's kind of the theory here, right? So, with a stronger U.S. dollar, right? So commodities down. Crypto has been a little bit weird because there's speculation about him creating a reserve for the United States. Not proven. You know, it's hard speculation. Crypto has really moved. Bitcoin, I believe, is up 89,000 right now, USD. It moved from the 60s initially on election night, 665. So that's been a big move. You know, whether he'll do it or not. Obviously, Elon's part of the administration. The whole Doge move is, you know, it is what it is. You know, you never lose money by taking a profit, folks. That's all I'll say on that, right? Not advising anybody, but you know, sometimes you know, you want to take a little bit off if things have really moved or reallocate, because the allocation history always comes to play, right? But anyways, what's interesting with inflation, especially for Canada, is that so we talked about the other sources of inflation before with commodities. They had moved up. Now obviously with the Trump trade they're moving down now, but that's due to a strong US dollar, right? And what's interesting for Canada is that so the loonie is plummeting versus the US dollar, and that actually has implications for us that not many people think about. So when you think about it, you know, we import a lot of our stuff, right? Sorry, I'm just gonna cross here, not get killed. So we import a lot of our stuff. And with that, you know, obviously we have commodities here, but you know, especially in the West, right? lots of different commodities. But with the fact that, okay, number one, our economy, would weaken if these prices of these commodities go down. Number one, right? In reverse, obviously, if they strengthen, our loonie, quote unquote, goes up, right? So when you think about it, with a strong dollar, our imports cost more. It's actually inflationary because we're paying more for the same product, but because of the USD terms that we're buying them in, right? So that actually becomes inflationary, and again, that's actually definitely taken into consideration by the Bank of Canada. So as much as they want to cut on a weak economy, it starts to limit how much they can it just limits how much they can actually cut further going forward based on that, right? So and obviously with Trump, he's always talking, he uses obviously verbal usage to guide a lot of the policy. Obviously with the Fed, they don't necessarily appreciate his involvement. Obviously you can tell with Fed Powell. However, he does move currency markets, frankly, and rate markets, and he can move definitely a lot of markets with what he says. So that's why when you're again, you think about the commodity markets, just in general prices, because prices aren't going down, right? If you look at all of that together, right? So you got the rate cuts, you've got there's Richmond and Bay, folks. That's the Bay shopping. It's the mall now. Hudson Bays. But when you think about all these factors included, so prices, the Bank of Canada is still lowering rates, which I heard that in terms of transactions of housing are starting to come back. Doesn't mean prices are going up. It also just means a lot of people are starting to kind of either give in. There's also a combination of the fact that I'm sure there are people who are anticipating a price move up, and again, that's hard. I mean, there might be in the near term, but I've seen some YouTubers talking about going back to the highs, which is crazy, right? And frankly, I think kind of irresponsible to say, because anyways, I'm not going to get into that game, but in terms of the sources of inflation, you've got multiple sources running now in terms of the economy, especially in Canada, and again, the currency is another thing that I know I've seen other YouTubers downplay it, but it is definitely a factor, and it's a factor on a massive scale. So when you mix all those in, we could again be looking at another big issue in terms of inflation. And then look at the 70s, folks, and the 80s. They had about a double dip inflation. Who knows? That could happen again. They're still doing the construction here. In terms of city politics here, our premier here, I'm in Ontario, obviously, he wants to dish out $200 to everybody to help with costs because inflation's high. You know, some of the popular theory is that we're lowering interest rates to lower inflation. Well, you know what? Maybe in the near term, but in the long term, you might actually end up getting a lot higher, right? Anyways, but he's also calling an election, I think, as well. So, folks, do your research. I know he's giving us $200, but you know, just look at what it does in the long term. You know, not being political, but just I think we got to be more informed versus you know, just taking the $200. Oh, they closed this off. They closed this off. Anyways, folks, I think I'm going to end this walk. Just wanted to talk about that other source of inflation there. But my name is Winston. I take walks. I'm based in Toronto. If you are a tourist, someone who lives here, or someone who just enjoys watching the content, I hope you get something positive out of it. If you have any questions, please post them in the message board. And I hope you kind of like the kind of little economic talk as well, as I do have a background in that, but you know, nothing like, and do your own work as well in terms of building a mosaic. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next walk. Bye bye.